There's hope, guys. There is hope that Atlantean Mermail is still cooking post Banlist. What's up, guys? Brandon Chan here, and today we're gonna talk about how Atlantean Mermail might look like post Banlist. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit scared. I'm afraid that Konami might actually hit Mermail really bad, hitting Minstrel, Toad, Molding Glacier. What could happen if they do it? And now that Konami likes to give me anxiety and keep me waiting for the Banlist for 2-3 weeks without knowing what I'm gonna play for my national championship, I decided that I'm gonna test Atlantian Mermail without the cards that might get hit. And like I said, I'm a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I like to play the decks that have a good chance of winning. And post Alliance Insight, Malice, White Forest, Ryseals are gonna be just the power level, the power creep is gonna be very high. Which makes me think actually that Atlantean Mermail doesn't have to be hit at all. I think the decks are going to be really strong and the deck is just gonna be fine. I don't think it's gonna be extremely broken that everybody's gonna play it after, like if they ban Dweller. Mostly because I think other decks will just go crazy post Alliance Insight. But now that Ryseal is using Toad, and yeah, the deck has some unfair cards just like Minstrel or Molding Glacier, the chances of actually hitting something from Mermail is actually very high. So yesterday I went to locals and went 4-0 playing Atlantean Mermail without Dweller nor Toad. With this, I just wanted to have the feeling of how the deck felt if I felt that, for example, I couldn't play with around that many hand traps, or let's say, for example, if I couldn't make like a very good end board with the cards with playing without Toad. And to my surprise, the deck was actually very good. It is more like a synchro based XYZ deck, and I even like misplayed a lot because actually you do need a lot of practice. Like playing without Toad, you need a lot of practice, especially because since it is like a synchro based deck, you need to have like, you know, what your end board is gonna look like, what synchros you wanna summon. So you have to calculate if you have like a 2 or a 3 and 2 3s and 1 2 and so on. So it is not as easy, but it has very good end board pieces. I played Chaining, I played Ice Jakey Mid, I played actually the Ice Barrier card as well. And to my surprise, all of them were actually really good cards. There wasn't a super high competitive locals, mostly because of the decks I play against too, because the players were actually really good players. I played against Malice, BCL, Finsmith, which was a tough matchup. Fire King, which is a really tough matchup as well, because we don't have that much side deck for it. Crystron, and which was also very tough, especially because we cannot barrier statue them. And what else? And yes, and Cyber Dragon, Finsmith. So now I'm gonna share you guys my deck list, go over it, share you my thoughts. Like I said, I'm starting out with this build, so I like to play as many extenders as I can. Definitely the strategy is to float gate your opponent, either put the water barrier statue or the ice barrier monster, or hand rip your opponent for 4, because I do play Trishula and it came up actually. I hand rip with Minstrel, I hand rip with Molding Glacier, and I hand rip with Trishula and on my Seals Pass plus Abyss Gale. But you actually don't have to hand rip your opponent for 4 or float gear your opponent in order to win. You can actually end on very powerful end board pieces, and you can diversify it depending on what your opponent is playing, which is what I like about the deck. If your opponents play a board breaker strategy, you can end on Virtual Stream plus your Seals Pass. Try to draw cards with Coral Dragon and Croc in order to probably draw hand traps and diversify your end board a little bit so that you don't die to a droplet or something like that. So let me show you guys my deck list. Talked about it. Hopefully you guys can give me some ideas, some cards to try. Because I do wanna make this deck work even if they ban Toad, Minstrel, or Molding Glacier. So next time I'm gonna try without Toad, without Dweller, and without Molding Glacier. Another time I'm gonna try without Shark but with Toad and the other cards. Another time I'm gonna try without Minstrel, and so on. So let's start off with the basics. 3 Neptabis mandatory, 3 Squats, 3 Abystheus, 3 Dragoons, 2 Poseidra. I actually could see myself, depending on what cards I cut, I could see myself even playing 3 Poseidras. Only one Abyss Shrine. I do think it is a little bit breaky if you don't open any other Mermails, but you could bump up this to 2. But we'll see. It depends on which card I cut. I could see myself also cutting other cards and adding either 1 Abyss Shrine and 1 other Poseidra, and 1 Deep Sea Diva and 1 Infantry. I still play Deep Sea Diva. I found myself actually going into it a couple of times, and I do believe, I know like it is a hand trap magnet, but I do think it is could be worth playing. But yeah, as for the Atlantean Mermails, this is the basic, very standard. And I just want to say, like, to start it off, I want to see like full water hands. I feel like I cut my non-engine by a lot from 15, well, not a lot, but from 15 to 12, mostly because I think a full water hand can break. If they don't finish on Dweller, I think I can break that board. Or if it is against Malice, which I think it is the toughest matchup. But if it is against a mid-range deck, a full water hand I think can break any board. So let's say for example against Ryseal, if they don't finish on Dweller, I think it is GG's basically. And Blue Eyes and Malice are the toughest matchups, but that's why we have the side deck for. So whenever you are playing against Malice or Blue Eyes, you can bump up your main deck. I also played no Fuba, by the way, mostly because I saw them. Since it is coming reprinting the Stampede, I sold my playset, so I'm just gonna wait, and I have having actually success without it. Oh, I also played 1 Abyss Spike, mandatory as well. Oh, by the way, Deep Sea Diva came up when breaking the board. I usually try to bait out everything with all my extenders, and then lastly just normal some Deep Sea Diva and bring back Squad, for example, and OTK. It came up really good a couple of games. So I also played one of the best cards of the deck, which I hope Konami doesn't ban, which is Minstrel. I played 3 Minstrel. It is not only the fact that you can look at your opponent's hand, it is the fact that it is a level 3 tuner and it hits 1200, which is actually very relevant when OTKing, because usually when I OTK sending the new Poseidra from grave and bringing it back Shrine, which is a 1600 attack monster, and Minstrel, and even if you have another Minstrel, I can summon another Minstrel. I played Molding Glacier, of course, to hand rip, and you can play 1 brick of choice. I think you can even actually not play it and side deck it, but I played General Raiho because I wanted to start with the easiest one to summon. This could be easily a Barrier Statue. I feel like it could have done the same thing as Barrier Statue if I played Barrier Statue. Ice J Ran came a couple of times. I think it is a good card and good utility and extender to have in the deck. And Raiho could be anything. This could be either Virtue Stream, could be Barrier Statue. I think it could be between this and Barrier Statue, to be honest. As for spell cards, I play consistency cards, spot, and 1 for 1. I played 1 Call By. I did play Triana, like I said before. I want to start with all the extenders I can have and then cut off and see what works and what doesn't. As for non-engine, I played 3 Purulia, which it's a water, just I think mandatory. This could be Fuwalos as well. I didn't play this actually on YCS Orlando, and it is not like I miss it, but now that we're playing even 3 Minstrel, you can send this as Minstrel cost and combo off after that. Let's say hit the draw. Also, an interesting fact, the reason why I played Ryo is because since I do think this is the easiest to get into, especially because since we have so many level 7s, we can just even like normal summon Minstrel, have a level 7 on board, go into Lancia, and then have the Ryo Floodgate on the field, which to some decks is actually, if they don't have the out, it's really difficult to play with it. And also the fact that Lancia can float into another ice barrier and interrupt your opponent is actually really good. And it got me some games. I played 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and then 3 Impulse. That's it as my non-engine count. I feel like this is good. Also, Impulse is good to break boards, as well as Imperm and even Ash. If against Malice, you can Ash the trap that banishes. And Purulia is just a great card. Since everybody now is playing talents, these cards are usually really hard to also have as a crossout target. And since we're playing Impulse and Imperm, it's in Purulia, which are cards that usually triggers either this in the standby phase or draw phase, and these are traps, so it doesn't trigger the talent. As for the extra deck, I played the basics, the XYCs. I played Shark, mostly to go into Virtus Stream, into Virtus Dragon, sorry. That is why I think Virtus Stream is gonna be so broken, because you are going to summon the Virtus Dragon usually from Shark. The Virtus Dragon can recycle your goons, so you can have another discard. Also, the Virtus Dragon summon will search you Virtus Stream, which is instantly a pop 2 interruption, which is insane. I played a lot of synchros. I just wanted to test out which synchros came up, which ones doesn't. But I played Lancia, which is to floodgate, easy floodgate our opponent. Kimir, changing. I didn't summon this card as much. Coral Dragon, Trishula, which actually came up a couple of times. I did play Water Statue in the side because I wanted to go in first. I wanted to have all the floodgates I can. And I play Adamantipator, mostly because I'm playing Diva, so 2 3s and a 2, it's basically him. Here I actually could consider adding Croc or Typhoon, or even another Poseidra, or even like there could be a word where I could actually test another Abyss Gaius, just to have end on double Abyss Gaius, which could be fun. Could be a good end board, but I don't know. I'm just currently testing out. If you guys have any ideas on how to improve the deck, which cards I should test, let me know. Now as for the links, I played Abyss Glacier, Neptulus King, and Anemone. There could be a word actually where I was thinking on actually adding a second Anemone. If I don't play, let's say for example, the Quid Spell Abyss team, I wanted something for the grind game, and a second Anemone could be really good. So as for the side deck, I wanted going first card, so I was playing the Barrier Statue and Virtus Stream, just to see if I can even like Barrier Statue and Lancia my opponent. I was also playing one talent, which this used to be in the main. This could be in the main actually. I could cut General Raiho and add talent. That could be another option. Came up a couple of times. Since Malice is our toughest matchups, and it will be our toughest matchups because Malice is just gonna be insane. I played two Meows. This could be 3. This should be 3, but I only have 2. 2 Lancias. Oops, sorry. 2 Lancias. And then 2 Chaos Hunter and 3 Lancias. And then actually I could even cut one of these 2. I could cut the Barrier Statue and play Barrier Statue in the main and cut General Raiho, so I have one other spot. And then we play 3 XYC Anchor, which this post Banlist, if they ban Dweller, we don't need to play this card. So this could be, let's say, an Ulti Slayer, which is highly a more general like board breaker. This could be something else. And I played one Lightning Storm and 1 Feather Duster for Blue Eyes. So I think the side deck should focus mostly on Blue Eyes and Malice post Banlist. So that's basically it for today, guys. I do think the deck is really strong going first. Even like without Toad, you can make very powerful end boards, and like a full water hands, it just feels like really good. Can play through a lot of interruptions. You can play around Nip, Steel, like Minstrel them first and see the Nip, rip it from hand and play out from there. Imperm, Veiler or Ash, you can play around them too. So I think the deck is still very strong. Let me know what you guys think, how the deck will look like post Banlist. Do you think it might be a 1.5 or a 2, or even post Alliance Inside? I do think post Alliance Inside, Malice, and it's just gonna be crazy good. It's gonna be like probably tier 0. The Ignister, the Omni Negate, it's just gonna be crazy. So people get your Meows, and it's just gonna be mandatory in the side deck. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to continue this series and let you guys know my findings when it comes to playing without X card. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Hasta la próxima. Please don't forget to like the video like always and subscribe.